I always thought I knew my mom. She was the kind of woman who woke up early, made coffee before the sun came up, and never talked much about her past. She smiled a lot, laughed at dumb TV shows, and told me everything was fine even when it clearly wasn't. But at 2:17, one random afternoon, I realized I didn't know her at all, and it all started with a locked box. My mom had gone out of town for the weekend to visit my aunt. She asked me to keep an eye on the house, which really just meant feeding the cat and not burning the place down. I wasn't snooping, at least, not on purpose. I was looking for an old photo album she once mentioned something about pictures from before everything changed. Figured it might be cool to see what she was like when she was younger. That's when I noticed the closet. Her closet was always neat, too neat, like nothing ever moved. But that day, something felt off. One shoebox was pushed slightly out of place, like someone had grabbed it in a hurry. Behind it was a small metal box, old, scratched, heavy, and locked. My heart started pounding for no reason. I just stared at it, telling myself to leave it alone. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. Once it grabs you, it doesn't let go. I picked it up. There was a sticky note taped to the bottom. It said, "If you find this, please don't hate me." My stomach dropped. I didn't have a key, but I did have time. After a little too much effort, and maybe crossing a line, I shouldn't have, the lock finally popped open. Inside the box were 3 things: a stack of old letters, a faded photograph, and an envelope with my name written on it. My hands were shaking. I grabbed the photo first. It showed my mom younger, maybe early 20s, standing next to a man I had never seen before. His arm was around her shoulders. They looked happy, really happy. On the back of the photo were 4 words: "The life we lost." I felt sick. Then I opened the letters. They weren't addressed to my mom. They were addressed to me, but dated years before I was born. That didn't make any sense. I read the first one. It started with, "If you're reading this, it means I never got the chance to tell you in person. I had to sit down." The letters were written by the man in the photo. His name was Daniel, and according to everything I read, Daniel was my real father. The man who raised me, the one I called Dad, wasn't mentioned once. Instead, Daniel wrote about dreams, about plans, about how he and my mom wanted to leave town, start fresh, and raise a family somewhere quiet. Then the tone changed. One letter said, "Your mom thinks it's safer if people believe I disappeared." Another said, "I'm doing this to protect you, even if it means you'll never know me." By the time I reached the last letter, my hands were numb. That's when I opened the envelope with my name on it. It was my mom's handwriting. The letter was short, too short. I was young. I was scared. And I made a choice I thought would keep you safe. Daniel didn't leave us. I made him disappear from our lives. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. I spent the rest of the night sitting on the floor, staring at the box like it might explain everything if I looked long enough. The next morning, my mom called. She sounded normal, asked about the cat, asked if I was eating enough. Then she paused and said, "Did you go into my closet?" Silence. I whispered, "Mom, who is Daniel?" She didn't answer right away. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked. "I was hoping you'd never have to ask that." She came home early. We sat at the kitchen table like strangers. That's when she told me the truth. Daniel wasn't dangerous. He wasn't abusive. He wasn't a bad man. He was poor. My grandparents didn't approve. They told her she'd ruin her life if she stayed with him. When she got pregnant, they gave her an ultimatum: leave Daniel or lose everything. She chose security over love, and she's lived with that choice every single day. I asked her the question I'd been holding in my chest since the night before. Does he know about me? She nodded. He always knew. Where is he now? She looked down. I don't know if he's still alive. That hit harder than anything else. Weeks passed. I couldn't stop thinking about Daniel. So I did something my mom never expected. I looked him up. It took time. Old records, dead ends. But eventually, I found him. He lived 3 states away, working a normal job, quiet life. I stared at his profile picture for a long time before sending a message. All it said was, "I think I'm your son." He replied in under 5 minutes. I've been waiting my whole life to hear that. We met a month later. He looked older than the photo, grayer, tired. But when he smiled, it felt familiar, like looking into a mirror of a life I almost had. He hugged me like he was afraid I'd disappear. And for the first time, I understood something important. Family isn't just who raises you. It's also who loves you from a distance. Even when it hurts, I still love my mom. I don't hate her, but that locked box taught me something I'll never forget. Every family has secrets. Some are buried to protect us, and some are buried because the truth is too painful to face.